Follow along as I take you through our preparation for spring, as well as show you a few ways to save some money over the year. So this video is going to start with me doing soil blocking. This is my first time I've ever done soil blocking, but I have found it very therapeutic and it seems to not waste so much money and space. So what I am doing is sifting my potting soil. So instead of using seed starting soil, I use potting soil because it has a lot more nutrients in it. I just grabbed some Miracle-Gro organic potting soil and I sifted it through 1/4 inch mesh wire, and then I'm adding in some perlite, and as well as I added in some coconut coir and mixed it all together and wet it down really good. And then I used my soil blocking machine tool to make these molds. So you stick the soil blocker down in there and it fills your soil blocker up with soil, dirt, and it makes a square mold with like a hole in the middle of it for you to put your seed. And this was so cool. The kids really enjoyed it too. So I was planting sweet pea seeds. Apparently they take a long time to sprout and they like the cooler weather, so I wanted to go ahead and start those. Now we have been having some unseasonably warm days, hence the sweatshirts on my kids and me in a tank top because I was just super hot. So the kids have enjoyed learning how to do this, and yeah, it's just another way to spend some time with them and learn together. So I have put these onto some lunch trays. These are just really sturdy plastic lunch trays that I got from Amazon, and you are able to water them from the bottom, and then they have lots of airflow at the top. So definitely recommend that. All right, now next day I am working on rendering some lard. So we ended up getting a half of a beef from our local farmers, and we had to make some freezer space, and so I had lots of pig fat from another pork that we had. I think this, honestly guys, this might have been from the pigs that we raised. Like, it's been in there that long, and I hadn't found a way that I liked rendering lard to be able to do a lot at once, so I was kind of putting it off, but I did find a better way. So this is leaf lard. I can easily cut it with scissors and it will, easily cut. But I take that and I cut it up and I put it into my grinder, my meat grinder on my KitchenAid mixer. I was having to do this in my laundry room, and I know that makes no sense, but one of my kids messed up the GFI outlet for our kitchen and it blew, and it was like dangerous, and I needed to buy a new one, and so I didn't have any electricity in my kitchen, so having to use the laundry room electricity right on top of my washer. So that is why this is there. I digress. Anyways, I put that through the meat grinder because it just makes it a lot quicker and easier to get the lard off of that if it's in smaller pieces. So once I ran it through the meat grinder, I would take it to my pot on the stove and heat it up on low, and as it heats, it melts the lard or the fat, and then you strain off the liquid and you sift it through a sifter. Make sure that it's strained well and it doesn't have anything extra in there, and you pour it into a clean glass, and that's basically how you render lard. So I'm going to be writing a full post up on this on our blog, and I will hopefully come back and link it into this video if I remember. If not, you can always visit www.holistichomesteadingwiththehursts.com, and this recipe will be on the blog. So you didn't miss it. You can still go see it if it's up now. So basically, I was able to render about a half a gallon of lard, and I still had a full gallon Ziploc bag left that I popped back in the freezer because honestly, you guys, I was just kind of over it by that point. But was so proud, and this is so clear and white, and we can use it for baking and we can use it for cooking, and it's going to be great. Also, I thought that I will try it on my child's eczema, so we'll see how that goes. I'll let you guys know. All right, moving on. Grub Tera sent me this black soldier fly larva, and I was pretty excited. The kids are excited to try it out with the chickens. The chickens really loved it. Honestly, the ducks are still like shy or scared of us, so they just kind of run anytime you come at them. But so I didn't notice them eating the larva. But what I like about this company is that they take food waste, things that would go to waste and just go into the landfill, and they feed it to these black flies, and they hatch their eggs in there, and this just creates a good circle of life for our animals. So gives them lots of good protein. They really enjoy it, and especially in the winter time when they don't have like a whole lot of extra foraging, things like that. This is something good, and if your animals are kept in a fence like mine. So I would definitely recommend that, and you can use the link in the description box as well as the code to get a discount, so be sure to check out Grub Tera. Okay, so now this day I have just come back from my Azure Standard order, and this is one of the ways that you can save money throughout the year is by buying in bulk. I don't know, I have been very frugal since we got married because we went from a 2-family income to 1 family or 1 person income, and then I had a child and then another child, and now we have 4 kids. And even though our income finally grew after 5 years of marriage, it was still something that's kind of like ingrained in me to be frugal and to try to save money when I can, especially as our family grows and these babies that are growing up are going to be eating a lot. So Azure Standard is the place that I buy in bulk. Now, I do not think it's worth it if you are just getting 1 or 2 things. It is worth it if you are buying in bulk, if you are getting a lot of one item. We have bought lots of fruit like peaches and canned them, and apples and made applesauce. We've also bought lots of potatoes, and I get my flour here every month. I get a bag of 25 pounds if I can, because we eat a lot of sourdough and I make a lot of things from scratch. So I definitely think that it's worth it, and it will save you money if you buy in bulk. If you get on there and you're just looking at a single item, it is definitely going to be more than the grocery store. So that's my tips for that. Now, the rest of the time I am shopping at Aldi's or our local grocery store. Our local grocery store is typically more expensive, but they do have a few more organic options than Aldi's sometimes. I don't know, it all depends. And then we buy our meat in bulk, which saves us money from our local farmer, which we know how the meat's been raised, and we know that it's the healthiest for our family. So I definitely suggest buying in bulk when you can, supporting your local farmer when you can, and then for the rest of it, just, you know, weighing your pros and cons and going for it, what's best for your family. Another way that you can save money this year is to start your own seeds. seed packets cost way less than the actual plants, especially if you are planning on growing a lot. Like if you're going to grow 25 tomato plants, there's just really no reason to go out and buy 25 tomato plants when you can start them from seed. Super easy. One of the things that I have done to start from seeds is set up like a grow light station. Now this light was sent to me. It's the Barina light. It's on Amazon, and I will put a link in the description for you. And I had thought about using it inside on one of my plants, but honestly guys, it was so bright. I was like, I can't do this inside my house. So I went back to my original plan and decided to use it as a grow light for my seedlings, which it works perfectly for that. It's very lightweight. I love that about it. It has these little clips that you just zip tie on there, and then it like snaps in there. I really like that it's lightweight because, I don't know, I have a plastic shelf and I just needed something to easily go in there, and it wasn't super heavy. And the fact that it's so bright, I don't have to worry about making sure that it's super low to my plants and they're not going to get super leggy. And then it's LED, so it's not going to be using up a lot of electricity, which, you know, we tend to do more of these days. But I wanted to make sure that it was going to be sufficient for growing plants but not using up too much electricity, and this did the job. So if you guys want to get your own light and start growing, you could still use this inside if that brightness doesn't bother you, but I wanted to use it to start my seedlings. So here they are. I got them all set up and they are ready to start growing, and we are officially in the like week wait time. So I'm anxiously waiting for little seedlings to start popping up and to see them. So I am putting out a heat mat underneath this because this room is not it's not heated at all. So the light will put off maybe a little bit of heat, probably not a whole lot since it's LED, but I needed a heat mat underneath my seedlings to keep them warm. And yeah, so just because this place isn't, this little spot is not heated, it's underneath our house. So there we go. We have our plants planted in there. We also got some baby chicks, you guys. We have dwindled in numbers on our laying hens, and so it was time to get some more. And we ended up getting 15 from our local Rural King, and they are so cute. We just got a bunch of different ones. We got some Easter eggers, and I don't even remember the rest of them. I was trying to look at the egg count and make sure that they laid like 240 eggs or more, so a year, and that's what we did. So in about 6 months we should have some chickens that are ready to start hatching, or not hatching, laying eggs for us, and they're so cute. And we're going to train them with the Grub Tera larvae whenever they are old enough to do that, so that they are super friendly. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.